Hey, all you sixth graders, good to see you again. Now we are doing an example 4 on 1.5. And this is a long story problem, but you know what? It's just a fancy way of asking you what's the greatest common factor of these three numbers. So it says you're filling pinatas for your sister's birthday party. The list shows the gifts you are putting into the pinatas. You want identical groups of gifts in each pinata with no gifts left over. What is the greatest number of pinatas you can make? So really, we're just looking for the GCF, the greatest common factor of these three numbers. So the greatest common factor of the number of gifts represents the greatest number of identical groups of gifts you can make with no gifts left over. So find the GCF. So 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. They didn't make the factor tree here, but if you make a factor tree, that's what you would end up with. 24 would be 2 times 3 times 2 times 2. 42 would be 2 times 3 times 7. And so now we are circling the common factors, and we're going to find the product of those common factors, which is 6. So the GCF of those three numbers is 6. Therefore, you got to put 6 pinata, make 6 pinatas. So that's just a fancy way of asking you the GCF. Same thing here, long words, but it's just asking you the GCF of these three numbers. So you're arranging your collection of DVDs. You have 16, 32, and 40, and you want them to have stacks that are the same. So what is the greatest number of DVDs you can have in a stack? Again, this is the long, fancy way of asking you what's the GCF of
You are
these three
arranging a
numbers.
collection of
So if you
DVDs
make
into
a factor
stacks.
tree,
You have 16
you
drama,
can find
32
those.
action, and
And
40
here's a
comedy
quick
DVDs.
tutorial for you.
You want all of the stacks to be the same height. What is the greatest number of DVDs you can have in a stack to make them the same height without any left over? The GCF of 16, 32, and 40 represents the greatest number of DVDs you can have in a stack to make them the same height without any left over. So to find the greatest number of DVDs you can have in a stack, find the GCF of 16, 32, and 40. One way to find the GCF is to write the prime factorization of each number and find the product of the common prime factors. The prime factorization of 16 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. The prime factorization of 32 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2
And you
times
can make a
2
factor tree to find that.
times 2. The prime factorization of 40 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. Next, circle the common prime factors. There are 3 common prime factors of 2. Next, find the product of the common prime factors, and this is the GCF. 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 4 times 2, which is equal to 8. So, the GCF of 16, 32, and 40 is 8, which means that you can have at most 8 DVDs in a stack.
There you have it. And remember, you can use your notes on GCF. So those steps are a lot to remember. So you want to find common factors